But Labour's Tribbles bill adds insult to injury as it could open the floodgates to even more to prosecuting veterans. Well, I'm delighted to be joined now by the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage from the House of Commons. Mr Farage, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have your company. Tell me, are we any step nearer tonight to getting that much-needed amnesty for British veterans?
No, it's extraordinary. I mean, the 23 Legacy Act from the Conservative Party, the one flaw, as I see it, is the Human Rights Act. But at least there was an attempt to draw a line under things that happened 30, 40, 50 years ago. Quite why the Labour Party want to stir up this hornet's nest is beyond me. Do you know, I met someone today who served in the British Army for over 40 years, who is now being hounded, who has been at 7 o'clock in the morning taken out of his house by the police. What on earth are we doing? And the rumours are there are 4 more big cases to come, and they might even go back to Malaya in 1954. This is the hounding of men who've given their lives and served in the British Army. And you know something? Forget Northern Ireland today. Think about Northern Ireland 30, 40, 50 years ago. This was a bloody, awful, horrible place. Thousands killed, tens of thousands wounded. It was a horrible place. And the job of the British Army, was to stop the terrorists. And some of these cases are so clear-cut, it's almost unbelievable. Quite why Labour want to alienate the entirety of the veterans community in Britain is beyond me.
Well, Nigel Farage, many in the veterans community not only think they are being persecuted, but it's having a huge impact on present and future recruitment. I had a SAS general on my show last Friday who said this is terrible. Nobody wants to stand up for the ultimate regiment, the elite regiment on the planet, for fear of being prosecuted for a split-second decision, simply following orders.
Well, think about this. With the relationship with the Americans, and by the way, without the Americans, we are defenseless. Our special forces are just about now the only part of our military that the Americans genuinely, 100% respect. That is now called into question, into doubt. I am told, and I spoke to somebody currently serving in the SBS last week, that morale within the regiments is absolutely appalling. And as for recruitment, why on earth would you do the job? It's a disaster. And think about a combat situation. You know, we send our guys in to a dangerous situation, and if in the back of their mind is, can I act as I believe to be correct, to protect myself and my colleagues and do what's right, or do I hesitate for a moment? Well, think about that in a combat situation. It is a complete and utter disaster. And if you talk to anybody in the SAS or SPS, they will tell you that any of their colleagues that behave badly in combat or elsewhere will be out literally immediately. These are men of the absolute highest integrity. They deserve our respect, they deserve our support, and this Labour government seeks to hound them. It is absolutely disgraceful. I've just been in the Commons watching hundreds of Labour MPs going through voting for this. It is literally beyond me why they would do so.
Nigel Farage, could I ask you about this word patriotism? We see Sir Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, wrapping themselves in the Union flag. A lot of people think that's a little bit suspect, a bit opportunistic. Do you think when reality bites, the true patriotic notion is to support our armed forces? And this isn't just about this Tribbles bill tonight. It's about the fact that actually the Labour Party, they're not truly patriotic.
Well, of course, this is so classic of this government. They invert the truth on everything. He's the plastic patriot, not me. The St George's flag and Keir Starmer, you'd never have seen that even 2 years ago. They believe in a higher global order. The human rights agenda, the international courts, we see it, whether it's through Chagos or so much else. These people aren't patriots. These people don't believe in an independent, proud United Kingdom standing up. He's even reversing Brexit week by week with everything he does. This guy, let me tell you, Starmer, when he comes out with this stuff, is a complete and utter fraud. And my feeling is the country's getting that.
Nigel Farage, thank you very much for joining us from the House of Commons. Pleasure to have your company. Thank you very, very much. Now let's take this conversation on with my panel. Of course, that's the former Conservative MP and the Minister, Sir Ranil Jayawardena, and also the journalist and former Press Secretary, Paddy Ashdown, Joe Phillips. Sir Ranil, I should come to you nodding along there. This wrapping themselves in the Union flag, this calling Nigel Farage a plastic patriot, has become something of a competitive nature. But true patriotism, surely, is about supporting our armed forces through thick and thin.
Absolutely. So on the last issue, I was calling reform out, but Nigel's absolutely right on this. The truth is that there is a law already in place to protect our veterans, to make sure that there can't be these sort of private civil prosecutions against our veterans, that there can't be sort of additional legal action taken against them now, many, many years after the event. And senior military officers wrote an open letter that this will be a direct threat to national security. So it's bad for the veterans and it's bad for every single person in this country. Why the government is doing this, why Labour have decided that a settled piece of law that we put in, the Conservatives brought in, after much campaigning from many MPs, including me on behalf of some of my constituents, why they've chosen to use parliamentary time to make something worse for our veterans, I cannot understand.
Joe Phillips, does this tell us more about this Labour government than perhaps this one standalone issue tells us? We see time and time again a government putting the rights of IRA terrorists before our own forces, putting the human rights of illegal immigrants before British citizens. Isn't that the point? They're lawyers.
Martin, I'm not here to defend the government. I'm not a member of the Labour Party, and there is nobody here to defend the government's issue on this. And I think, claims about who's a patriot and who isn't are extremely damaging and extremely unhelpful. There are people who go around wrapping themselves in Union flags and turn up to hound and harass people going about their daily business, including...
Where?
All around the country, including one man who turned up at the very well-covered on GB News protests outside the Epping Hotel, who was a convicted paedophile, but he's wrapped in a Union flag, so it doesn't
matter. What about the mothers, the daughters, the friends who are standing up for women who've been raped and molested by illegal immigrants?
But there isn't a prize for who's the best patriot. It's how you behave in your daily life. It's a little bit like saying, what makes a good Christian? What makes a good Muslim? What makes a good neighbour?
But surely Labour have failed on that, because they aren't defending our British values, they aren't defending our British forces and indeed our British veterans, and they're bringing, a risk of inquests and civil action against
I do question why they have decided to tinker with this.
OK, just Ranil, I need to interject. Just some breaking news now to announce the Troubles Bill has passed in the Commons on that second reading.